very good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the 91st SKOCH Summit, the state of governance, as we continue our discussions and deliberations of issues pertaining to national importance for governance and administration. Our panel discussion featuring distinguished experts on innovations in planning and development is about to begin. Let me take a step back and introduce our panelists this evening. We have with us today Mr. Avinash Bhalchandra Patil, Vice Chairman of the Town Planning and Valuation Department, Maharashtra. He works as the Vice Chairman of the Town Planning and Valuation, Maharashtra. Prior to this, he was Chief Planner at Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation. He has 30 years of experience in the field of planning, including 11 years of his initial career at SIDCO. The Chief Minister of Maharashtra has appreciated him for his contributions to of the ease of doing business policy as well. He has 18 papers to his credit published in various academic journals. We have with us Mr. Rahul Ranjan Mahiwal, Managing Director of the Pune Metropolitan Region Development Authority. Shri Rahul Mahiwal currently serves as the Metropolitan Commissioner of the authority. He completed a master's degree history from Patna University, interestingly, and joined the prestigious IAS in 2005. He served on various postings in his home cadre between 2017 and 22. He took charge as the Commissioner of the Women and Child Development Department and later joined PMRDA as the Metropolitan Commissioner. And after joining PMRDA, he has expedited works for Pune Metro. Dr. Tamal Majumdar joins us today. He is Commissioner of Urban Development from Tripura. Dr. Tamal Majumdar, under his guidance, Tripura has received several accolades from the President of India for the Swachh Bharat mission, as well as achieving certain critical tasks such as solid waste management. Mr. Bharat Yadav is Director of Town Planning in Madhya Pradesh Urban Development Corporation Limited. He's a determined and hardworking officer and has been pivotal in his role for promoting the peri-urban and rural urban areas along with other urban areas within the state. He's given special emphasis on the inclusivity aspect in all these sectors. Currently heading the Urban Development Department, but transport is Shri Yadav has ensured connectivity of remote areas by bus services. Taking a step back and broadening the ambit of the discussion, urban development as a subject, ladies and gentlemen, has been around for roughly 5,000 years. Some of the key challenges that face us today as we move towards urban agglomerations are high population densities. We need better connectivity. We need better landfills, we need better urban drainage networks, we need to have our land and zoning requirements in place, and therefore we need adequate planning. Planning for waste management, planning for access to road networks, mass transit systems. And with this, I'd like to open up the discussion to a distinguished panel of experts for an opening round of comments, roughly 3 to 5 minutes in length, given our time considerations. I'd like to come to you first, Mr. Patil. How have you implemented GIS planning within the state of Maharashtra, Mr. Patil?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, all. It's a pleasure to share whatever Maharashtra has done in terms of GIS-based planning. So GIS is not a new tool. Actually, it has been used for many purposes, even in spatial planning. But as far as Maharashtra is concerned, we expanded its reach. We decided in 2019. So whatever development plans will be prepared in next, every development plan later on would be GIS based only. Not only that, whatever layers were suggested by under Amrut, so those layers were viewed by our think tank in the department. So we have a think tank in the department. We meet often, at least once in fortnight. And we improvised those layers which were given by central government, and there are 600 plus class and subclass into it. And we along with the private consultants, we went on doing that. But last year, what we did is like we asked people what do they want before preparing the plan, and it was a very good experience. Officers working with people, asking them what do they need in their area, in their neighborhood, in their sector, in their city, and what do they visualize about their city after 20 years. And very good suggestions came out of those personal meetings. Not only that, we had a pre-structured Google form which was sent to all ULBs and all common people with a press note in the local newspapers. And it had a very good response. We received a good response. And depending on those feedbacks, we went on to the SWOT analysis of the town, found out what were the immediate, intermediate, and long-term needs, and then those were captured and put in the report. Not only put in the report, those needs were reflected in the development plans. And when our town planning officer presented that development plan to the urban local body for its publication under Section 26, so it was like a list, like this was the list, which list of the people, which list of the representative of the ELB, and what we could cover in our, what we could incorporate in our development plan, what was not possible, for what reason. So that made a very good connection with people, not only in terms of the faith, but faith in the development plan as such, because in many of these 106 towns, it was the first kind of development plan. Since these were the newly formed Nagar Panchayat or Nagar Parishad, and they were to prepare the first development plan for the city in 3 years period. So that was the first kind of a special plan for the area, and they could receive that. This is how, yes, this is a good idea that officers are coming to us, asking us, and then this. Second small intervention we went with that. Our officers, we have been using in Maharashtra the planning norms which were framed in year 1979. There is a government circular in 84 saying that the town planning officer has wisdom to evolve planning norms, but some of the other purpose that though the liberty was given, they were not able to evolve those kind of contextual terms. So we last year had a kind of advisory, open kind of advisory, but seeing that how those down specific norms could be evolved. So those directives were given, and they were asked to see that you are free to evolve town specific norms, but you have to justify them in your report. Why so? Why not? And why so many gardens you require for this town? Why so many playgrounds? Why? And why if he's saying that the less number of gardens are required? Why so? So what is that specific character of town which makes you make it reduce or make it increased? Either way. And that philosophy, not only for reservation or sites, that philosophy for land use zoning, that philosophy for having a road network, everything they were asked to put down as a rationale of making a development plan. And that has helped us that when it was published, the number of objections were reduced substantially. 12 of the 106 towns, we didn't receive any of the objections, and the committee was not required to be formed for listening to the objectors for those towns, and it reduced the time. So overall time frame was reduced from 3.5 years to 2 years. So it was a mission project, and state government supported a lot in terms of administrative, policy, advisory, and financial support as well, because funds also came from state government initially. Later on, some of the projects were funded by under central schemes also, but state took it as a mission that every project would come. Only thing I would that GIS base is not end of it. So just to say that we have 600 plus layers, it can be a miracle if we use those 600 layers in a very. Now what we are working, just to take it ahead, that I've asked my officers to find out that what a common man, what an engineer, what an urban administrator, what a researcher, what an engineering student, what a town planner would require answer to his questions. So find out what questions everybody would have in his mind in terms of a land use plan or a development plan, and put those questions. Find out how these questions can be answered with the help of combining different GIS layers, and then how to build those GIS layers in time to come. So it's not only urban planning they would be used; they would be used in some decision making. So in a nutshell, how a rational decision making can happen in terms of urban planning outcomes or urban designing outcomes, or it can say urban infrastructure outcome. Those can happen, and value addition can happen by using the GIS layers in terms of it. It's not a very simple thing as I'm talking, because many inputs and many attribute data would have to be put up in years to come, and so that our decision making in terms of urban planning or urban development would be rational and would be criticized to lesser extent. I'm not saying criticism will be vanished, but then it will be reduced. So that is just introductory what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Patil, for your opening remarks. I must now widen the discussion and include Mr. Rahul Ranjan Mahiwal, who joins us from the Pune Metropolitan Region Development Authority. Mr. Mahiwal.
Good evening, one and all. At the outset, I would like to thank the SKOCH organization, Mr. Kocher and his team, for creating a platform where the best of the governance and industry works are given due cognizance that they deserve. So urban development and governance are two critical areas that are continuously evolving with the changing times. The growth of cities and urban areas leading to numerous challenges such as, population growth, infrastructure development, sustainability, quality of life. So these all challenges open the doors for innovations in urban development and good governance, which are essential to address these challenges and create a better living atmosphere environment for urban dwellers. One of the most significant innovations in urban development, as Mr. Patil just told, and we also in Pune Metropolitan Region Development Authority have used it effectively, that is GIS planning. With a sense of satisfaction, I can say that our organization, PMRDA, has been one of the early acceptors of this technology. And if you see the area which we are tackling, it is more than 6,000 square kilometers. So one of the largest in our country, not only in Maharashtra. So given the magnitude of works, this GIS has helped us providing opportunities for data-driven decision making. So when we were using this for entire more than 6,000 square kilometer area, we came across many things which were not earlier in any of the survey. Those surveys were done manually or on some other satellite image, which were not so precise. Here we came across each and every inch of land, every topography, which were captured by this GIS maps, so that we can give justice to the people by providing them different types of eligible zones, reservations for their lands, and overall balanced development for this PMRD area, which will make it one of the most livable habitats by 2041. So this data-driven decision-making brought the necessary transparency and efficiency we have long been seeking, which is especially relevant so as to keep pace with the spurt in the urban growth of Indian cities. We undertook aerial imagery of the entire region and superimposed on the village maps, which were old maps. Their startling revelations were made, and we tried to just balance the actual situation with what our GIS could provide us. And this has further enhanced by providing us superimposed images of road maps from the public road departments, water body maps, which were getting encroached, or some illegal construction in and around water bodies, which brought criticism from the national green tribunals and other organizations. Our development plan, which was being made after this GIS mapping, we got more than 69,000 objections from the people, because they had some different notion of their land and their topography. When our GIS went before them, they had some doubts. So number of suggestions, although it seems to be very high, but qualitatively we have been able to tackle all these one by one. We gave patient hearing to all the citizens of our Pune region. And now when we are going to submit it to the government in a few days, so we have immense satisfaction that we will be giving one of the most flawless development plan of a metropolitan region. This has been possible due to the use of GIS technology and access to data. Our second point is that participatory governance. We had one option to just customize the grievance redressal software, and without giving hearing, we could have done this. But we talked to each and every people who had objections. So here we got a lot of support and positive feedback from the government, from the government in our democratic structure. Third point is that we have constraint of funds in newly evolving urban bodies, municipal bodies. So here we are trying to just have a good, robust transport system in urban bodies, because cities are having pressure of traffic, and every time floating population comes, goes. So at morning and evening time, you will find there is a lot of traffic jams. So our data is backed by GPS, and which we are further enhancing using mathematical models, machine learning tools, comprehensive traffic mobility plan from IIT type institutions. We are taking help. Sensitivity analysis is undertaken. So in my opening remark, I can say that sustainability, resilience, and inclusive development, these have become actually become a reality when backed by innovative technological procedures and ideas. And we are hopeful of coming up with a very sound, robust urban management. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Mahiwal, for sharing your perspectives on urban development and governance. I now would like to invite Mr. Bharat Yadav, who's Director Town Planning in Madhya Pradesh Urban Development Corporation Limited. Mr. Bharat Yadav, please.
Thanks to SKOCH Group for giving the opportunity to present. Actually, Mr. Bharat Yadav is the Commissioner, Urban Administration and Development, not a Town Country Planning Director. So he was here, but because of some Chief Minister urgent program, he has gone. So on behalf of Mr. Bharat Yadav, I am PC Jain, Deputy Project Director, presenting the innovation in urban development and municipal governance. I think that was the topic that has been given. So, there is a rapid growth of urban population, and Madhya Pradesh is no exception in that case also. In Madhya Pradesh, the urban population is about 2 crores, and that is about 27.63% of the total population of the Madhya Pradesh, and it is growing at the rate of 2.57%. So, in the even urban, there are so many municipalities, municipal corporations, they have own capacity. So for the development of the public, this urban area, we have developed integrated urban development plan, and with the help of the central and state government, we are running the programs of Smart Cities Mission, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, Amrit Swachh Bharat Mission, Chief Minister Infrastructure Scheme. And we have done a lot of best practices in Madhya Pradesh. This Govardhan Bio CNG plant, Indore is running Asia largest plant, biogas plant, through which we are running about 400 city buses. And we have got the credit rating also. Why this saving the energy as well as the environment also. And with the Indore super corridor, the innovation also, through the land pooling, we have got the land there. There was the requirement of about 750 hectares of the land for development of the this Indore super corridor. AICTL city bus Indore, one of the best bus, I think, services in India that we are running. About 400 city buses are connecting to different towns of the Madhya Pradesh as well as within the Indore town, Indore city also, and green bonds by Indore as well as Bhopal. This is one of the best development we have achieved to get the finance to increase the capacity of the UAVs. These are the innovations. And ADB, there is a Sachi, this ancient place known for the Buddhism. Sachi is going to develop as a solar city. So everything that is done by the public, that's run through the solar. Indore is also very much advanced regarding the this solar city also. And as far as the municipal governance is concerned, because municipal corporations have own resources, but there are few tier 2, tier 3 local bodies, they don't have the resources. So Madhya Pradesh had developed a Madhya Pradesh Urban Development Company, as a financing financing intermediary, as well as it provides the technical supports to the tier 2 and tier 3 ULBs also. So these are the achievements we have got, and as I have already told that Govardhan biogas plant urban transport through clean fuel, it is one of the best achievements we have got it, and it is running through the public-private partnership (PPP). Because in you find it at Indore, there are about 5,000 tons of this garbage. Normally we get it and we used to convert it. There is a totally segregation of that material from the garbage done, and we used to just convert it in the CNG. So the Indore Municipal Corporation purchased it at the lower rate, and whatever extra we get it, we used to give it at some say reasonable rate to the others. We sell it. So this is one of the best resources of the Indore Municipal Corporation, and I say other municipal corporations should also follow in India as an example. Another is the super corridor, as I have told you. It has been developed through urban infrastructure through land pooling. You know, land is the biggest problem in every city. So one land pool has been created, and cultivators have given another land just to develop a township, and they develop, we say it's a gold mine. So we developed it, and we require the land for that project at 830 hectares, the costing of 1,050 crores, and that have got the connectivity from the airport to the busiest area of the Indore city, in the Vijayanagar. Another, I have told that intercity service that is known as the AICTSL, and innovative financial model of this is set up a dedicated urban transport fund, granting advertising rights to the SPB. We have given this rights to the SPB for advertising on the buses. Parking tax collected by municipal corporation is used to fund PT, public transport operation. Applied technology with ITMS, smart cards and mobile applications, use of bio-CNG electric vehicles, live tracking of buses, tape in, tape out facility in the buses. These are the facilities we have provided. You know it. We have started in 2012, and now the ridership has been increased by 1,200%. That's very, very much large. Now, most of the people in the Indore generally used to go through the public transport.
Right.
Bus network increased by 560%. And credit carbon earned via bio-CNG gas, 1,70,407 carbon credit. So this is the biggest achievement we have got it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing these perspectives as a part. And we do wish that Mr. Yadav could have joined us. We'd now like to move to Dr. Tamul Majumdar, who's Commissioner in the Urban Development Department in the Government of Tripura. Dr. Majumdar?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir, to all of you and the participants, sir. As you know, sir, the urban population is increasing day by day, and it is going beyond our imagination and capacity of urban areas also. So as far as Tripura is concerned, the total urban area is 2.3% of the total area of the state. But the urban area, urban area, we are catering people of 26% of the state, which is very difficult and unmanageable from any urban society. People are always, every day, people are producing garbage, either liquid or solid. So as a first step from our state, we consider to garbage-free city, all the ULBs, 20 ULBs of the state. We quantified the quantum of garbage they are producing, and we thought about the process, how to dispose them. So we adopted a 3-tier system of garbage disposal. First tier is domestic collection from every household, commercial establishment, market, and whatever within the urban area. We are collecting the garbage with charges, minimum from 60 rupees per month to 3,000 per month. Even from hotel and restaurant, it goes to 10,000 per month also. Second tier system is at secondary center. 85 secondary center are functional in our state in 20 ULBs. In secondary center, we are segregating macro level, because whatever garbage we are collecting from household, we are segregating into 6 categories at secondary center. Then from all secondary center, we are segregating at tertiary center, that is micro level segregation. Item are around 36 per item or 42 items also. And in tertiary center, already, sir, out of 20 ULBs, we have constructed 19 for 19 ULBs, and out of them 13 are 15 are functional, and rest 3 or 4 will be functional by August. So the process is how we are doing. Initially, it was the perception of the people that waste is waste. Now we are showing them your waste is not a waste, it is a livelihood for the workers or urban area. It is a process for income generation. Now your waste become the wealth of the society, and side by side, it is the duty of and responsibility of the citizen to make your city neat and clean and green. So accordingly, sir, in tertiary center, we are engaged people, SHG women worker, to work and to collect the garbage from house to house and cities. We are producing organic product, which is certified by the Central Lab of Government of India. They have also given certification. The organic compost, what we are preparing, that is a good quality and can be used for anywhere. Even agriculture department, forest department, they are also purchasing us. Even our high level officials also, they are also purchasing the organic product in the name of Nirjash and Feni, one of the river of South Tripura district. So we are showing them people how to live and how to make our waste into oil. Say for last month, total collection of waste value, what we collected from the users as a user charges, it is around 49.6 lakhs. So from zero earning, zero to around 50 lakhs per month earning, that is a big issue for us, like a small state in Tripura. So we are now, our self-help group and our urban local bodies, they are self-sufficient for decomposition of and disposal of their organic waste as well as organic component. Per month, 1,260 workers, they are working. Now it is ensured their livelihood. They are getting their livelihood. They are only by working around 4 hours per day. So rest time they can work at their home or some other process. So this is reducing the dump site legacy and as well as the city neat and clean. That is from my side.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Majumdar. And it's been interesting to get an opening round of comments from our panel of experts. There were certain commonalities in what Mr. Patil and Mr. Mahibal have shared with us this evening. In fact, they mentioned that, despite the 74th constitutional amendment, the devolution to urban local bodies sometimes still does not provide adequate funds that are available to them for various developmental activities that they need to undertake. In light of this, Mr. Patil, you have still been able to achieve GIS-based development plans at the last mile with over 600 plus layers. Now, I am given to believe that the PM Gati Shakti portal is also mapping certain amounts of data in terms of GIS. Are there synergies amongst the data that you're connecting and the data that's being connected by the ministry at the union?
Yeah, that can be done, but the only challenge is that the layers need to be filled in promptly and timely. So it's not that all layers could be generated and attribute data can be put in one go. So that would happen eventually. Whatever data at present we are having should be put in, and there should be a dedicated personnel doing that. And the challenge to technology is that how without manual intervention data can be data updation can happen. So that's unanswered question to me also, because data updation is mostly taken as a thankless job, and once the person changes, it remains static. It becomes a static thing. So maybe with the intervention of AI, it would be possible in days to come.
Absolutely, Mr. Patil. In fact, you mentioned something. You said that you've been able to achieve sort of efficient planning by planning for locales and planning for specific towns according to their requirements. Do you think that the use of machine learning and artificial technologies will help you solve for this further as an additional layer to your GIS plans?
Yeah, why not? Because see, AI cannot replace human brain, but then can give a solution, range of solutions. I won't say it would be a unique kind of solution, but at least the land use suitability analysis and those kind of things. We have been using the buffer method and overlay method of GIS for finding out suitability of land for particular land use. But then AI can happen in terms of data. I'm talking of data capturing and data standardization.
Right.
That's very important. So if I'm putting 600 layers, where thousands of decisions can be relied upon the inputs from those layers. So that standardization of those layers, the standardization of attribute data within those layers can happen through AI. That is what my point is. Not the decision making, but it can have a decision support system to have.
I couldn't agree with you more, Mr. Patil. In fact, you said that all that AI can do is give you a greater choice set to make your decisions from. And in fact, I recall when you were undertaking this GIS development plan, you held several focus group interviews spanning 1 to 2 hours with various stakeholders, including everyone's perspective during the discussion on how that should be done. How did you build a consensus for this change to arise?
Very difficult in the beginning, because we have been, all of us, including myself, we are trained to have like, humne prepare karna hai DP, that should be confidential. And why should we ask people? We are experts in the planning domain. So why should we ask a common man? So it's not the time, because see, every urban land, every piece, every square meter is precious. And when we are putting something on somebody's land, it's like snatching his bread. So though we have been, we are coming with so many good packages of compensation and land pooling and so many tools, but then still there is apprehension that the development plan means it's something imposed on them. So we started that, myself and my senior ACS sir, we tried to inculcate in our officers that yes, there is a need to review it and see that, let us ask at least what do they need. So it started with me. I visited 6 places at each division, and where all the officers, 5-7 districts officers were called for the first interaction, which I was a part of. And then I gave them the way how it is to be conducted, how to talk with the people, how to open out the discussion, how to capture the inputs. And that is how it rolled out to other areas. And now we are coming with 106 towns at a time for that. And now it's a challenge for us as a directorate and as a state government also to scrutiny all those. For scrutiny also, we have standardized things. And when those GIS-based DPs were prepared, it was the first kind of GIS kind of DP which our officers were to scrutinize. Like the vendors have given the GIS version. So that was the first this thing that they were touching the GIS kind of output given by the vendor. So we had prepared a standard operating process for that. That what is to be checked when we want to have a qualitative kind of GIS layers or GIS-based DP. What is that quality? How to measure that quality, and what our officer has to check on ground. कि भाई ये इतने इसमें रेंज में है तो it's okay. We have to accept. Otherwise, has to go back, take review and improvise it and then submit to the officer.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Patil. In fact, Mr. Mahiwal also mentioned that his organization, the Pune Metropolitan Regional Development Authority, was one of the first within the state to adopt this state GIS technology. And state GIS technology for a project such as building a 23.03 kilometer metro line in an extremely crowded area of the city, the Rajiv Gandhi Info Techno Park in Hinj Wadi. Were you using any kind of business information modeling tools to be able to do this? Because you mentioned you've been able to achieve data-driven, efficient decisions, Mr. Mahiwal.
So while planning for this 23 kilometer, more than 23 kilometer of metro line on PPP model, existing land use survey was done in the beginning. It passes through the most crowded area of IT Park, Rajiv Gandhi IT Park, to Shivaji Nagar is the heart of the city, Pune, and Hinjawadi was the outskirt, but now it is also as crowded as the inner city. So entire corridor was surveyed, whether land was available or not, whether some encroachment was done. Satellites images were also taken, GIS planning was done, but here we had to go manually in the beginning because there were many settlements which were not according to the planning norms. So we had to see that the alignment of that railway track should be minimum disturbing to the existing colonies, more towards the open lands in the city. We just chalked out that route. So here technology also helped us to a great extent, but our manual intervention, as Mr. Patil told, artificial intelligence is definitely a repository of knowledge. It can be used for data strengthening, collection, but behind everything there is a man or mind of the man which gives you overall perspective or wider comprehension of the issue. So here both things were done. We used our business model, technologies, and manual survey of entire stretch of the land. Now the project is going on very well. We are hoping in next couple of years we will be completing this metro line, and Pune will get, you can say, final solution of the traffic jams, mostly in evening and morning times, business times.
I suppose the mass rapid transport system is the need of the hour to avoid ugly traffic snarls and the resultant pollution, Mr. Mahiwal. You know, this brings me to the gentleman from the Town Planning Madhya Pradesh Urban Development Corporation Limited, who is representing Mr. Bharat Yadav. I ask you this: there are certain innovations within the state of Madhya Pradesh that you have shared with us in terms of, you know, using clean and sustainable fuels, in terms of being able to effect things that are better for the environment, in terms of town planning. How have you been able to cover sort of the 100% area of a town with a covered network and 100% connected to this network with a reduction in BOD load of 225 kg a day and COD load of 308 kg a day polluting the river Narmada?
It's basically you are talking regarding the project we are taking the Dharampuri town. It's actually two-tier town. It's a population of about 20,000. So, you know, there are about 28 towns are situated for which MP government has taken the initiative just to reduce the load of that BOD. And we are going to this overall sewage cover with the overall sewage network as well as the sewage treatment plant. So Dharampuri is one of them also. So we have tackled it through, initially there were so many challenges. Number one, the land problem. Even we could not find the land for the STP, sewage treatment plant, even for the MPS. But through regular changing, regular discussions, through awareness and through administrative as well as this political willingness, even we have got land through motivation. Somebody has given for MPS land also, because we could not find even the land for the main pumping station also. So we have got that land also. There were major challenge in connection, getting the connection of the town. So we have done, actually it's a development project. So in the development project, environment, social and this awareness is a major campaign. So we have done a lot of campaigns to the schools, Anganwadi, personal door-to-door, knocking and discussions. And also giving the...
There is a Rohan, what's your name?
Is there any problem?
Dr. Unikrishnan, if I can please request you to mute your mic.
So a regular knocking of the doors. And so we have achieved the target of 100% connections, 2,277. So there is 100% coverage of the connection we have got it. And even as per the Central Pollution Control Board norms, we have connected it online. So we have got it everything. Let's say BOD reduction, it should be less than 10 milligram per liter, COD less than 50 milligram per liter, suspension only less than 10 milligram per liter. So every day on the mobile app, as well as the pollution control board get the report also. And that is very well functioning also. It is fully SCADA controlled. And on the same way, we are running about 28 towns. We are also covering that of the in the tier 2 or tier 3 city, and these all are located on the bank of the Nartha.
Right.
So because Nartha is the lifeline of the Madhya Pradesh, and we get about 60% coverage of the towns of the water through Nartha. So it's very essential. My Honorable Chief Minister is very much committed just to save the Nartha anyhow. And we all are committed just to complete it.
Well, we wish you all the very best with your ongoing efforts, and we would love to see them in continuation. Thank you very much for joining us.
Ucharji, this is Kamlesh Bhatnagar from MP UDC.
Yes,
in fact, I want to add something what sir has said. Two additional things. We were talking about GIS some time back. Two additional things which we have done in this project and in all the projects which we are doing right now is all the infrastructure is GIS linked right now. And we have also developed the grievance redressal through GIS. So it is a very good combination of GIS and MIS.
That's excellent. Thank you very much for sharing that, Mr. Bhatnagar. We'd love to study that at a later point in time. When in fact, we'll be in touch with you regarding the same. Mr. Mahiwal, can I please request you for some closing comments, also specifically in light of the grievance redressal system that Mr. Bhatnagar from Madhya Pradesh was referring to? Would you like to share any closing perspectives?
Yeah. So regarding this grievance redressal, so we have already, Government of India has placed many forums like CP Gram, Pradhan Mantri, Shikayat Yojana. In state also, we have our grievance redressal system. So these technological intervention will certainly help people sort out their problems well in time. And besides that, what I feel that officers should focus on this manual meeting people for their grievance redressal. A certain time can be given on a couple of weekdays where people should come. Because once people who are agitated or disgruntled come and meet you, I think they are pacified to a great extent when they meet senior officer. So in our PMRDA, we are working on both models. Technologically, we have our team which is looking at all the online submission of grievances, forwarding it to the concerned authorities, getting the response well in time, and communicating to the people who are actually aggrieved. And our officers, senior officers, give a couple of hours on working days to common people who don't have much say in the system. So this is, I think, these two blend of these two will help a lot in grievance redressal and satisfaction. Thanks.
Right. Thank you very much. And with that, we come to a close.
Exactly on the same line we are doing. We have
You have 2 minutes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, you were saying something. Please go ahead.
Yes, on the same line we are doing, sir. In the Madhya Pradesh, there is a CM helpline that is parallelly running. This is totally that based on that digital. And we are regularly contacting the CMO, ULB, and per month we are running the grievance redressal system. We have put, say, manually one registered at the ULB. Just to mark it, somebody should come and report it, and my person get it collected, the report, and they rectified it immediately. And their reports also come to me. What are the matter there, how it is going to rectify, and how the redressal is going to be made. So this is both, these are the blending of both the system, as Mr. Mahiwal has told.
Thank you very much for sharing your perspective. Really quickly, I'm afraid we have almost run out of time, but I'd like to take a brief comment from Mr. Patil, who has raised his hand. Yes,
just
please.
Half a minute, just to take further what Mr. Mahiwal and Mr. Sir has said, that the grievance redressal system also can happen in terms of urban planning. So urban plan, once it is prepared, it remains in force for say 20 years period, and it's not a static kind of thing. So over the period of time during the 20 years period, the plan period, there are some demands though that come which were not thought of or anticipated at the time of preparation. So some indicators can be transformed into hinting a modification to the plan in terms of land use change, in terms of designation, change in the designation of a particular reservation, or some kind of road network, whatever. So if these happen, then we can't wait for people to apply to have those modifications in the plan. It could be a system-driven modification system. It's a very broad kind of thought, but I think the day is not far off. We can think of that. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Patil. And with that, our panel comes to a close. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, gentlemen.